There's an accounting firm in my building. I can see from their LinkedIn page that they're doing lots of property development work. I often bump into one of their partners at the coffee shop downstairs and want to suggest a referral relationship. And I'm not sure what to say. How do I go about breaking the ice? This is a really common question. I think most of this stems from confidence. So to bring confidence into the way you're going to approach, I think it's about reframing this opportunity to go up to this person and ask them about a referral relationship. So to reframe that, if you go into the conversation with nothing to offer and you're asking for their help, it's always going to feel hard and awkward. I don't think there's any instance where that's going to be comfortable unless you're an extreme extrovert. I'd also say, and this is specific to accountants, but I've heard this from accountants, and they're sick and tired of lawyers just coming to them and asking for referrals. They don't see what the value is in it for them. I think it's sort of like the GP in the medical profession. All the surgeons want, all the specialists all want referrals, but what's in it for them? So I think you need to go into this with, well, what can you offer them first? So if we think about the conversation, don't do this. Hi, accountant. I saw on your firm's LinkedIn page that you do a lot of property development work. Do any of them ever ask for any introductions to lawyers? If so, I'd love to catch up for a coffee. So it's pretty sort of selfish. It's kind of all about you. I would say, here's two options that might help. Hi, accountant, and you obviously use their name. I saw on your firm's LinkedIn page that you do a lot of work with property developers. And here's the kick. What you say is, so do we. So by saying so do we, you're implying that there's this potential for reciprocity so that you could introduce them to your clients. So what this means is now that you and the accountant are playing the same game. You're just playing in different positions. And that person is far more likely to ask for that coffee, far more likely to agree to that coffee. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they said, I'm free now, and you end up having the coffee straight after. Think about that. If you do have property development clients, that might be a way to approach it. But if you don't, and it's sort of an area you're just kind of breaking into, another offer you might make, or how to kind of approach this, would be, hi, accountant. I saw on your firm's LinkedIn page that you do a lot of work with property developers. I've got something to ask you. My team and I are planning a seminar for property developers on the new rezoning amendments that the council's doing. And as part of that session, we're hoping to have a speaker on, say, the tax implications of these changes. So you're kind of inventing this thing, and it could be legitimately that you are going to plan this webinar. What it's implying is you're going to do all the work and you're asking them to basically contribute and get in front of your participants. I'd also follow that up with, well, would you or one of your associates be interested in helping out? And that way you're not kind of making them work for it as well. They can palm it off to someone in their team as well. I think the first thing is make it really easy for the accountant to say yes. There's a reason for them to say yes. They can delegate the work. Just by doing that, you're now on their radar. I think the key to all of this when asking someone for a referral relationship is about extending that olive branch first. It may not be that you can introduce your client, you can't introduce clients to the firm. That's not always possible. Often the relationship doesn't go that way, but there is always other ways you can reciprocate. And I think you need to get creative about what those ways might be. One of the most effective ways of helping out accountants I've seen, for lawyers just more broadly, is just offering them ad hoc advice when they need it. So instead of them having to formally introduce you to an accountant, introduce their client to a lawyer, is for really small questions, you're available to answer questions to the accountant. Obviously, if it needs written advice, well, then it becomes an engagement. But just giving them that kind of ad hoc support is a really easy and valuable way of offering that kind of reciprocity. I hope that was helpful.